into this. Holy shit! Now you go home and you think about it.
Hey Jordan, nice to meet you.
Hi, Albert. Nice to meet you.
Oh, I gotta tell you, I saw Ganymede last week. I was blown away with this movie. This has to be one of my favorite movies this year because
Oh my gosh.
you did such a phenomenal job in the lead role. I like that you played this very conflicted character, and you had to deal with a demonic presence on top of everything you went through. And I gotta say, man, you gotta get an accolade for this role.
Oh, thank you. That's so nice of you.
So our first question is, what inspired you to take on the lead role of Lee?
Yeah, upon reading the script, I just related a lot to the character. I mean, he, has a lot of what, queer closeted kids like what they deal with personally and internally and a little bit to the extreme. But I think something that I personally could relate to, and I think a lot of queer youth can relate to, especially maybe being in the South, or who knows, even especially with the rhetoric being passed around today in the media, like what they're made to believe that they are. Like, just I don't know. I felt like it was my duty to play this part and do this project, just to spread awareness and spread the message and share the story. And again, like I said, it was just very dear to my heart, and I'm so honored to be a part of it.
Yeah, one thing I was telling Colby and Sam that I really liked was the duality between your character and Pablo's character because you're
Wow.
the one who's not just closeted, but you're more on like a grounded level, like but you're trying to figure out who you are, where
Yeah,
Pablo is flamboyant and open and proud of who he is. And
yeah.
I felt like that's a great sense of duality between the two characters because you're still trying to find out who you are
Mhm.
and where Pablo already knows who he is and proud of it.
Right. Yeah, the dynamic there was just so interesting and it's just so beautiful and raw and real. Like I even remember when we were doing the chemistry reads, we read for a few actors, but it was clear when Pablo read it was this, he was Kyle Culper. But I
Yeah.
remember too, I was I'm kind of intimidated by him because he was so comfortable in his skin and he was so just like you know what I mean? Just very Kyle. And I told that to Colby and Sam, and they were like, "Well, that's the point. He is supposed to intimidate Lee." And I'm like, "Oh, wow, that's insane!" Like, because that intimidation makes Lee grow,
Yeah, exactly.
find himself. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
almost threatening because he can't be that way.
right. He feels like he can't because, of course, he's got a dad who's like a government official of sort. So he's got this rep, and you got a mom who, within herself, she has some conflicts, but she feels like
Yeah,
she turns her anger towards you in the
yeah,
film. And as
right.
I was saying, Robyn Lively, I have been a fan of her since I was a kid, and
I,
she totally this is one of the best performances she's ever pulled off.
I can agree. I think what she does so flawlessly is bring heart to such a nasty character. But she's not even like this is the thing with Floyd Fletcher, who Robin plays. She is nasty, but there's so much heart there because she is really struggling between trying to do what she thinks is right
Hmm.
versus what's wrong versus trying to please her husband.
Yeah,
But she loves her son. She loves her son, and she's only just trying to keep the peace. And, there's a line that she says in the movie where she's like, I'm holding this family together. And she really thinks that she is trying
yeah,
to do. And I just think it's so real and just so, I love it. I love her.
yeah. I mean, she's truly like overprotective at times, but at the same
Right, right.
time, we notice that something's strange about her. Like, there's a reason why she's doing this. Of course, we know later in the movie exactly what it is.
She's got her own demons. I mean, everyone in this film has their own demons.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
yep, exactly. And I gotta say, another amazing performance is David Koechner because I'm used to him seeing in comedies,
yeah,
and this is probably the most sinister role I've ever seen him in as the pastor because from the moment you see him in church and he just starts belting out everything about how bad homosexuality is, I was scared. I was just like,
Oh,
it scared the crap out of me.
that scene was terrifying to film because he was so it was so surprising how far he went with it, but that just shows like his ability and his dedication to the work. Yeah, he truly surprised us because again, like I had only seen him do comedy, and just to see him live so perfectly and scarily in this role was just like he was scaring us in the room so much to the point where like I couldn't help but like laugh because I was so uncomfortable. You know when you're like uncomfortable, you either laugh or cry.
Yeah.
I was so uncomfortable that I laughed. I couldn't stop laughing because I was so scared of him, and I was like so shocked that this felt so real. Like I remember like tapping Joe, who was we were in the same boat. We were so freaked out about what was happening. Like we just had no idea it would go that far. And I mean, just to see how the film turned out, I mean, he literally sells this movie.
He does, but I like the fact that we get a sense of calmness with him when he explains to you what a Ganymede is
I
exactly. You
and
know,
that he has his own stuff.
yeah, exactly. And I was like, this is like the only moment where he's actually calm and collected for a while, and then of course he's back to being, you know, crazy again, towards the finale, which and then it's just mind blowing how everything comes out. And another question I have for you is, speaking of that, when you start seeing your demons and that scene with the starting to tear stuff out of your arm, what was that like doing all that? That must have been crazy.
Oh, so fun to play with. I mean, like our special effects team, Jonathan Kozar, he was just incredible. I had never played with that much special effects and stuff, but it was really cool. It felt like my Black Swan moment with Natalie Portman. It just like very like internal struggle, but like showing it in such a gruesome physical way. Oh, I loved it. It was so cool. But it just, it just goes to show you too how certain people handle their demons and their pain. And he is so internal that he had to like
Yeah,
bring it out somewhere.
yeah. And I like the fact that, Sam and Colby were telling me, this is about small town America, and they're both from there. They both come from different small towns in America, and how they use the demon to kind of like in a way portray their own lives.
Yeah.
Was that the same for you? And in terms of, did you come from small town America and having to deal with something like this?
Yeah, definitely came from small town, Midwest. Grew up in right outside of Metro Detroit. And I'm actually back here, back here in the pandemic, after 7 years in LA. Um, and yeah, just very much same thing. I mean, it was also a different time back then too. I mean, I'm a little bit younger than Sam and Colby, but I was kind of growing up in high school in the 2010s, early 2010s, and like, I had bullies and I had, what I felt like I was living a double life because I kind of knew I was maybe gay, but certainly did not want anyone else to know that. Um, and certainly did not want family or friends to know that. But when I was alone or at home alone, like I felt very much that, and it was just kind of living this double life, which Lee does. I mean, he's
Yeah,
whole other supernatural world or even mental world that no one can see.
that's amazing. And so it basically, you are Lee. Basically,
Yeah, but like when I tell you,
that's what makes the
I
role
read
great.
this.
That's what made it so great with you playing this role, because it fit perfectly with what you really dealt with. And I like that. I like that.
I almost wanted to like do this role to like heal my own wounds. You know what I
That's
mean?
awesome. Yeah, exactly. So I gotta say, I think you need to get some sort of accolade for this. If you don't, I'm serious. I'm calling people out
Gosh,
because you did
thank,
such a phenomenal job in the lead role. And I like the now hearing of that, it's kind of like what you really went through. It just made it even more authentic.
thank you. There's a few moments where I'm like, uh, there's a few moments where I like like my crying face, I cannot stand. But other than that, I am truly so proud of this project. Like what I've been saying to other people is I grew up doing theater and improv and sketch comedy, so it was quite challenging for me to play more internal and contained.
Yeah,
But like we were just saying, it brought out like the child in me who felt that way. So it was really cool to tap into.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, what's next for you after this that you can talk about? Is there anything new that you're working on?
Yeah, I've got more music coming out. I've got music coming out very soon. I've got a queer short film coming out. I think it's just going to be out on YouTube. It's a cute little film about car repairsmen falling in love in the 80s. I've got a Christmas film coming out this year, really funny Christmas comedy. A lot of heart in it. It's not announced yet, so I can't say much. And then I'm also off to shoot my next project very soon here, which is also can't say much about it.
Awesome. Well, everyone, Ganymede is now out on digital, and I suggest you check this movie out. This is a great LGBTQ
And be
horror
nice to
flick.
us. Leave us some reviews.
Yes, my review's already up, just for the record. My review went up
Nice,
yesterday.
nice.
So everyone needs to check this out because Jordan did such a phenomenal job in the lead role. The movie altogether is amazing. And again, Jordan, thank you so much for taking the time to talk about it.
Are you kidding? Thank you. Thank you for being here today.
All right, well, you take care and you stay awesome.
You too. You too.
All right, see ya.
Thanks, Albert.